Okay, let's dive into this. It's a really wild story we're unpacking today. Just what, days ago, Donald Trump, Elon Musk, very public allies. We even had reports, didn't we, of Musk saying he loved Trump as much as a straight man can.
Yeah, that quote was everywhere.
And now, total open warfare. We're talking threats flying back and forth. The president of the United States versus, well, the world's richest man.
It's the scale. Right.
Yeah.
That's what's just staggering here. This isn't some minor political tiff.
No.
You got the head of state clashing directly with the head of this massive tech and business empire.
Yeah.
And they're both using their own platforms to fight it out.
Right. Trump with Truth Social and, the presidency itself,
Yeah.
and Musk with X and all those companies so vital to the U.S., Tesla, SpaceX.
Exactly. Millions reached instantly on both sides.
And the fuse, the thing that apparently lit this whole powder keg, something called the Big Beautiful Bill.
Mm-hmm.
So our mission here, using the sources we've got, is to walk you through this just incredibly rapid implosion. How did this alliance even form? What exactly triggered the break? And maybe most importantly, what does it tell us about power right now, today?
Yeah.
This is kind of your shortcut to understanding the key players, the stakes. It's unfolding right now. Let's get into it.
Okay, so to really get the suddenness of it, you have to remember their history wasn't exactly straightforward. It wasn't always friendly.
Right.
Musk actually criticized Trump quite a bit back in 2016. But then post-election, he joined Trump's advisory boards, tried to influence things from the inside, maybe.
But that didn't last long, did it? He quit pretty publicly when Trump pulled the U.S. out of the Paris Climate Accords in 2017.
He did. But here's the fascinating part, the paradox you mentioned earlier. That political split happened, but the business relationship, that seemed to carry on.
Yeah, SpaceX kept getting those huge government contracts, and Trump would even praise Musk at launches sometimes. How did that work? Political disagreement, but financial interdependence.
Well, it suggests maybe a pragmatic link existed,
Yeah.
separate from the policy fights. But that dynamic, it really started to shift in 2022. That's when Musk announced he couldn't back Democrats anymore. A huge political pivot.
And then the big one, buying Twitter, renaming it X.
Exactly. And just 4 days after Trump announced his 2024 run, Musk reinstates Trump's account.
Yeah.
Very public, a spectacle almost.
It felt like a clear signal, didn't it? Musk using his platform power politically.
Absolutely. He backed DeSantis initially, remember? But then July 13th, 2024, minutes after the assassination attempt on Trump, Musk tweets his endorsement. That cemented it.
And backed it up with money, huge money. What was it, something like $277 million through his payee for Trump and Republicans?
That's the reported number, yeah. Massive support.
So fast forward, Trump wins. What was the payoff for Musk?
Leadership of the new Department of Government Efficiency. DOGE, they nicknamed it.
Yeah, right. The Dogecoin reference. That incredibly ambitious goal, cutting $2 trillion from the budget.
And the access seemed unprecedented for months. Traveling on Air Force One, sitting in cabinet meetings. You saw those pictures, him and his young son in the Oval Office.
Yeah, I remember those. And that moment in March 2025, Trump getting into a red Tesla on the White House lawn, calling it beautiful, it looked like the alliance was rock solid. Visually, at least.
It did. But reports suggest cracks were already showing inside DOGE, that $2 trillion target. Sources say Musk's methods only managed to cut maybe half of 1% of federal spending.
Which really tells you something about trying to slash government spending compared to, say, running a private company, doesn't it?
It highlights just how hard systemic change is, even with that kind of access. And there were reports of clashes too, right? Musk apparently calling a trade advisor dumber than a sack of bricks, stuff like that.
Oof. Okay, but the real trigger, the one that blew it all up, Trump's signature legislation, this big, beautiful bill. Why did that become the breaking point, especially for Musk, who was supposed to be all about cutting costs?
Exactly. That's the core of it. Musk was brought in, supposedly, to shrink government. And here comes this massive package tax cuts, spending that nonpartisan analysts said would add trillions to the debt.
So he was fundamentally opposed.
Fundamentally, he even criticized its price tag publicly in an interview before things really exploded.
And the timeline here is just wild. He officially ends his role as a special government employee, basically a temporary advisor, on May 30th. Then just days later, his criticism on X just erupts.
Yeah, a multi-day tirade, calling the bill a disgusting abomination. From his view, Trump was completely abandoning fiscal responsibility.
Trump stayed quiet at first, right, But Musk kept hammering it, and it apparently started impacting Republican support for the bill in Congress.
That seems to be when Trump's patience ran out. Reports said House Speaker Mike Johnson was even texting Musk, trying to, calm things down.
Then June 5th. That's when Trump hits back, tells reporters he's very disappointed, claims he asked Musk to leave because he was wearing thin.
A classic Trump counterpunch.
And then he dropped the bomb, suggesting he might terminate government contracts with Musk's companies. SpaceX specifically mentioned. What did that mean for Musk?
Existential threat. Simple as that. Billions and billions of dollars depend on those contracts. Suddenly, everything's on the line.
So Musk's response, equally explosive, right back on X.
Oh, yeah. Claimed Trump needed his support to win the election. A direct shot at Trump's legitimacy, almost.
And then he went further, didn't he? Making those explosive, unsubstantiated allegations linking Trump to Jeffrey Epstein's activities.
Which just sent everything into overdrive. The market reaction was instant,
brutal. Tesla stock down 14% in one day.
One day. Wiped out $150 billion in value. Investors panicked. They saw their CEO in open war with the president, who was threatening his core business. Huge risk.
And what's so striking, as you said earlier, is how they've fought this war. On their own platforms. Trump on Truth Social, Musk on X. This isn't like, fighting through press releases.
No, it's direct combat, using personal media empires. It really throws this clash between big business and big politics into sharp relief, doesn't it?
Absolutely.
And it shows how these platforms, owned by the fighters themselves, just amplify everything. Instant market consequences, political fallout, losing Musk's backing, his money, his platform. That could be genuinely significant for the Republicans going forward.
And that reported warning from Musk to Republican lawmakers really stuck with me. Something like, Trump has 3.5 years left, but I will be around for 40 plus years.
That really captures it, doesn't it? That tension between traditional political timelines and this kind of long-term platform power mixed with immense wealth.
Yeah.
Understanding this whole meltdown, it really helps you, the listener, grasp these shifting dynamics. Power, influence, how information moves or gets weaponized in the 21st century. It's complex.
Because ultimately, this isn't just some personal stat between two massive egos, is it? It feels like maybe a preview of how power operates now. Well, you have traditional political authority clashing head-on with platform influence and, frankly, disruptive wealth. It raises some pretty big questions, I think, about democracy, about accountability, like who really holds the power when unelected billionaires can sway policy and elections this dramatically?
That's definitely something worth thinking about long after we wrap this up. Who does hold the power in this digital age?